I'm going to be installing this lower radiator heater hose for my International 6.9 diesel. The block heater stopped working, so this is probably the fastest way to fix it. First impressions, this is a cat heater, part number 6.9 idi. I got it from Napa for $36, but it's pretty stout. It's heavier duty than I thought it was going to be. The cord is heavy duty, and it's attached pretty well. It's 120 volts, 600 watts. I didn't know what the wattage was going to be, so I'm pretty happy about that. That's quite a bit of heat. There's not really any obstructions to coolant flow, so my thought is that this raised area in here just gets hot, and then the warm coolant will flow up the lower radiator hose to the engine. So we'll get it installed and we'll let you know how it works. Okay, here's our lower radiator hose, and there's a nice section right here in the hose to put this heater. So I'm just going to lay it out, kind of decide what I want to do. I think I want to go like right in there. So I'm going to mark it, drain the coolant, and then take the whole hose off. I'm going to work on this on my workbench. Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to take the whole hose off. I'm just going to cut it right where that hose clamp is. And the reason I put that hose clamp on is to make a square cut around the hose so it fits on the heater better. And I also drew a line with a straight edge up the hose, so when I put it back together I can square it up with itself, and then it won't be indexed the wrong way or anything. So I'll get my utility knife and I'll cut that hose off. Here's the lower radiator hose removed. This is going to go probably something like this, with the cord coming out the side where I marked my line. Now this distance here is 1.25 inches, so we have to remove 1.25 inches out of the lower radiator hose to make room for this, because we don't want to make it any longer. So I'm going to cut 1.25 inches out right here along my hose clamp, and then we'll put this in and install it back in the truck. Okay, there's the 1.25 inch piece taken out. I slid the hose clamp down because I'm going to put on the heater now. I want the cord coming out the side with my line, so we're going to put that like so. Slide this up. I'm just going to snug it for now so it doesn't turn, and then when I get it back on the truck, I'm going to tighten it down with a wrench. Alright, there it is, all installed. I got my line all lined up, so the hose went back on the way it should have. All the electrical cords are zip tied out of the way, so they're not going to get caught in any belts or anything like that. Time to fill up the radiator again, and we'll take it for a drive, check for leaks, and then top off the antifreeze if it needs it. Another thing I like to use instead of cardboard is this insulation called Reflectix. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. Slide that down in front of your radiator, blocks the wind. It's heat and waterproof, so if it happens to rain or the cardboard gets wet, it just falls apart, but this stuff won't. And the other nice thing is I can take this out, roll it up, put it behind the seat of my truck on a warm day, take it back out, slide it in, and go about my business on a cold day. I'm also going to install this silicone pad heater by Zerostart, part number 3400062. It's a 125 watt silicone element that is glued onto the bottom of the oil pan. It's got some 3M VHB adhesive on the back, and I think VHB stands for very high bond. So the instructions tell you to clean the bottom of the oil pan down to bare metal, glue this on, go around the edges with this silicone that they provide, and that's pretty much it. They give you a zip tie to secure the cord and a little plastic spatula there to smooth out the bubbles. The reason I went with this size, this is a 6 by 1.5 inches. The reason I went with that size is because that's all the room I had on my the bottom of my oil pan. So you'll see that in a second. Okay, there it is, all done. Silicone's around it. Got to run the cord up front, but that's the last thing to do. After you glue this on, it says to plug it in for 10 seconds, which I did. And just curious, I felt it, and it was pretty hot. I mean, it would have burned you, so that's good. You know, it'll heat the oil pan up nicely.